Assalamualaikum students, welcome back to another video. Today we will be solving Cambridge IGCSE Physics Paper 2 variant 22 of October-November 2022. Also a quick reminder that all of the revenue generated from these videos will be sent to the aid of our Palestinian brothers and sisters. So please support us. Question 1. Which measuring devices are most suitable to determine the volume of about 200 milliliters of liquid and the diameter of a thin wire? So volume will obviously be measured using a measuring cylinder, so it's either A or B, and the diameter of a thin wire can only be measured using a micrometer screw gauge. The rest of the options are incorrect, so A is your answer. The diagram shows speed time graphs for 4 different bodies moving for 6 seconds. Which body traveled the least distance? How can we calculate the distance? We need to find the area under graph for each option and then check which has the least distance. So for A, we know this is a triangle, so we have half base into height. Base is 6, height is 8. This gives us 24. For part B, we have 2 triangles, so we can calculate the area for both of them separately. So one we have 4 into 8, and the other small triangle, this is 2 into 4. So this gives us a total area of 16 plus 4, 20. So A had 24, B has 20 meters. C, this is a complete rectangle, so 6 times 8, this gives us 48. And part D, we can divide this into 2 rectangles like this. So this rectangle will give us 4 times 8, 32, plus 2 times 4, 8, 40. So the least distance is covered by this option B. Question 3. Which statement describes the relationship between mass and weight? So we know the formula W is equals to mg. So mass is the effect of a gravitational field on a weight. This is the opposite. Weight is the effect of the gravitational field on a mass. So option C is correct. Weight is the effect of a gravitational field on a mass, because mass is influenced by the gravitational field. Question 4. The diagram shows 4 pieces of laboratory apparatus. Which pieces of apparatus are used to find the density of a liquid? So to calculate density, we need mass and volume. So mass we can find out using a balance, and volume we can find out using a measuring cylinder. Question 5. The diagram shows a meter rule Mn on 2 supports P and Q. 2 loads are placed on the rule as shown. The rule rests steadily on the supports. Which row is correct? So they have told us that the rule rests steadily on the supports. This means it is in equilibrium. So remember, when any object is in equilibrium, it must be fulfilling 2 conditions. First condition is that the total moment must be 0. So when you go through the options, check that where is the total moment 0 for both M and N. So this is in option D. So that is correct. Question 6. The diagram shows an object moving at a constant speed in a circular path in the direction shown. A force acts on the object to keep it in the circular path. In which labeled direction does this force act when the object is in the position shown? So we know whenever an object is traveling in a circular motion, the resultant force is always directed towards the center, which allows it to stay in the circular orbit. So this shows that the resultant force is towards the center. A trolley of mass 4 kilograms traveling with a velocity of 4 meters per second collides with a trolley of mass 2 kilograms traveling with a velocity of 2 meters in the same direction. After the collision, the velocity of the 4 kg trolley is reduced to 3 meters per second. What is the velocity v of the 2 kg trolley after the collision? So here we will use the principle of conservation of momentum. So the momentum of the system before the collision must be same as the momentum after the collision. So before the collision we have these two trolleys. So we will calculate the momentum using mv, which is mass into velocity. So 4 into 4 16, 2 into 2 4. This is before, and after 3 into 4 12 plus 2x. We need to calculate x. So 20 minus 12 divided by 2 would give you x. So when you solve for x, you will get 4 meters per second. Question 8. An object falls towards the Earth's surface. What happens to the gravitational potential energy and to the kinetic energy of the object? So an object is in the air and it is falling towards the Earth's surface. So as it goes down, the gravitational potential energy would decrease because it is losing height and it is gaining speed. So the kinetic energy would increase. So B is your answer. 9. A boy takes 0.6 seconds to lift a book of mass 0.6 kilograms from the top of a desk and place it on a shelf. The top of the desk is 0.8 meters above the floor and the shelf is 1.7 meters above the floor. The gravitational field strength is 10 newtons per kilogram. Which power does the boy develop? So we know the formula for power is energy over time. So first we'd have to calculate the energy that the boy exerts. So we know that this distance would become 0.9 meters. So energy you will get using mgh, which is gravitational potential energy. So the mass of the book is 0.6, g we know is 10, and height is 0.9. I'm going to write it here. So 0.6 times 10 times 0.9 divided by time, which is 0.6 seconds. So you will get 9 watts. Question 10. A mass is lifted from rest on the ground to y. There is no air resistance. P is the increase in gravitational energy of the mass. Q is the kinetic energy of the mass at y. Which expression is equal to the mechanical work done on the mass? So the mechanical work done is the total work done on the mass in taking it from this point to y. So the total work done would obviously be P plus Q, the gravitational energy plus the kinetic energy. The diagram shows a tank containing seawater. The density of the seawater is 1020 kilograms per meter cube. What is the pressure at point P relative to atmospheric pressure? So the pressure in the liquid is given by this formula, rho gh. Rho is your density, so 1020 times the gravitational field strength, you can take it as 10, and height they have given us at point P, the height would be 7.4 meters, because 8 meters minus 0.6 would give you 7.4. So calculate this and you will get 75,480. So rounding this off, you would get 75,000. The pressure of a fixed mass of gas in a cylinder is measured. The volume of the gas in the cylinder is slowly decreased. The volume is decreased. The temperature of the gas does not change. Which graph shows how the pressure of the gas changes during this process? So we know that volume and pressure are inversely related. So as the volume is decreased, the pressure would increase. So which graph shows pressure increasing? Well, it is C. Wet clothes are hanging outside to dry. What are the best conditions for the clothes to dry most quickly? So obviously the clothes will dry quickly if there is high wind and high temperature, which will increase the rate of evaporation. So A is your answer. Which change in the design of a liquid in glass thermometer makes it more sensitive? So sensitivity is increased when there is a greater increase in the reading for a smaller change. So a longer tube, this would not increase the sensitivity. A smaller liquid reservoir, this would also not, and this would also not. All these three options would in fact decrease the sensitivity. Only option A would increase the sensitivity. A scientist is determining the specific latent heat of vaporization of a liquid. He puts the liquid in a vacuum flask and heats it with a 100-watt heater. The mass of the liquid in the vacuum flask when it starts to boil is 300 grams. He continues to heat the liquid for a further 12 minutes, after which the mass of the remaining liquid is 100 grams. What is the specific latent heat of vaporization of the liquid? Okay, so you need to calculate the specific latent heat of vaporization. First you'll have to calculate the energy used. Energy will be given by E is equals to power times the time taken. So 100 times 12 minutes. We'll have to convert it into seconds first. So the energy we find out is 72,000. So in order to boil 200 grams of liquid, we need 7200 joules of energy. So what is the specific latent heat of vaporization? So 72,000 divided by 0.2, so it would give us 360,000 joules per kilogram. You need to divide it by 0.2. 0.2 why? Because 300 minus 100. Initially the water was 300 grams, then it became 100 grams, so it lost 200 grams, and it took 72,000 joules to boil 200 grams. So you convert grams into kilograms here, and then you get the answer 360,000, which is D. So here it is essential that you convert grams into kilograms or you will get the wrong answer. 16. Which piece of equipment is designed to produce a type of electromagnetic wave? Okay, electromagnetic wave, it means any wave that is in the electromagnetic spectrum, such as radio wave, infrared or visible light, or any kind of wave. So we know that electric fire can generate visible light as well as some sort of infrared radiation too. The rest of these options do not generate any of the electromagnetic spectrum waves. 17. A sound wave travels from air into water. Which law describes what happens to the frequency and the wavelength of the wave? Okay, so when a sound wave travels from air to water, it is traveling from air into water. So in water, the speed of the sound wave will increase because the particles are closer together in water as compared to air. So velocity will increase. And we know the formula for any wave is V is equals to F lambda. So as the velocity goes up, either the frequency will increase or the wavelength will increase. So when you go through the options, you should look for the option in which either one of them is increasing and the other one stays the same, or both of them are increasing, because only then the velocity will increase. So in option A, frequency decreases, wavelength increases. This cannot be correct because then this would have no change in velocity. Similarly in B also, frequency decreases, wavelength stays the same. This would in fact decrease the velocity. In part C, frequency stays the same, wavelength decreases. This would also decrease the velocity. In part D, frequency stays the same and wavelength increases. So this would in fact increase the velocity which we require. So D is your correct answer. 18. The diagram shows plain water waves in a ripple tank passing through a gap between two barriers and spreading out. Which name is given to this effect? So we know that this is called diffraction. A ray of light travels from air into a material as shown. What is the refractive index of the material? So refractive index is given as sin I over sin R, where I is the incident angle and R is the refracted angle. So here please be careful that 40 degree is not your incident angle. In fact, the incident angle is the one which is formed with the normal. So this is the normal, this is your normal, so this is the incidence angle I. This would be 50. So sin 50 over sin 27. Put this in your calculator and your answer will come out to be 1.7. 20. The diagram shows an object in front of a plane mirror at which labeled position is the image of the object formed. So this is your object. The light rays will travel like this and the object will form in front of the mirror, right in front, in the same vertical direction. So it will form here at B. The angle between an incident ray and the surface of a plane mirror reflecting the ray is 70 degrees. What is the angle of incidence? So the angle between an incident ray and the surface. So let's suppose this is an incident ray. So they are saying that the angle between the incident ray and the surface of a plane mirror reflecting the ray. So they are saying this angle is 70. I'll make it slightly clearer. So this is your normal, the angle, and this is the ray of light. So they are saying that this angle is 70 degrees. So how much would be the incidence angle? This much. This would be 20 degrees. The diagram shows the air molecules in part of a sound wave at a particular moment in time. Which statement is not correct? Earlier there was a compression at X. So this is true. We know that in a sound wave, the sound wave consists of compressions and rarefaction. So at the same point there will also be a compression and then later a rarefaction. So it alternates between a compression and a rarefaction. So at each point in the wave, that point will experience both a compression and a rarefaction. Similarly, with part B is also correct because it says later there will be a rarefaction at X. C says this part of the wave is traveling horizontally across the page. So horizontally means this way, which is true. Sound waves will travel from left to right or right to left. This part of the wave is traveling towards the top of the page. So this is incorrect. We know that it is traveling horizontally. An object is reflected in a plane mirror. Which description of the image is correct? Diminished and real. So this is wrong. Reflection in a plane mirror would not give you a diminished or either a real image. Enlarged and virtual. It would be virtual but not enlarged. Same size and real. It won't be real. It would be virtual. Same size and virtual. Yes. So D is correct. A 100-meter race is started by firing a gun. The gun makes a bang and a puff of smoke at the same time. When does the finishing judge see the smoke and when does he hear the bang? Sees the smoke almost immediately, hears the bang almost immediately, so this is incorrect. We know that sound travels slower than light, so he will see the smoke immediately, but he will hear the bang slightly later, and since he is 100 meters away, it will take him about 0.3 seconds. So B is correct. Two magnets X and Y are placed end to end on a bench. The diagram shows a magnetic field pattern between the poles of the magnet. Which row shows the direction of the forces exerted on X and Y by the magnetic field? So we know that the magnetic field lines travel from, let me just confirm it, yes, they travel from north to south. So since these are opposite poles, they will attract, so the force on X will be in this direction, the force of Y will be in this direction, since they are attracting each other. So B would be your correct answer. The diagram shows a circuit used to control the potential difference across a lamp. The variable resistor is adjusted until the PD across the lamp is 6 volts. The current in the lamp is 0.5 amperes. What is the resistance of the lamp? So we know resistance formula is V over I. Volts we know is 6. Current is 0.5. So this gives us 12 ohms. A charge Q flows for time t through a resistor of resistance R. Which equation gives the current I in the resistor? So we know the formula Q is equals to IT. Making I the subject, we will get I is equals to Q over T, which is option C. A plastic rod is rubbed with a dry woolen cloth. The rod becomes positively charged. Which statement is correct? Electrons move from cloth to the rod. This is incorrect, because then the rod would have become negatively charged. Electrons move from the rod to the cloth. So this is correct, because when the rod will lose electrons, it will become positively charged. Which diagram shows a graph of current against voltage for a filament lamp? So remember, in a filament lamp, when the current increases, there is also an increase in temperature, which causes the resistance of the filament to increase. So as the resistance increases, the current will slowly decrease. Initially it will increase, but then as the current becomes larger, the resistance increases due to the temperature, and the current then becomes smaller. So you can see this behavior in option D. Each potential divider is placed in a circuit with a power supply. Which potential divider makes that potential difference across component Y increase when the light intensity increases? So light intensity is related with the light dependent resistor. So it can either be option A or B, because option A and B shows light dependent resistors. So they are asking us that which potential divider makes the potential difference across component Y increase when the light intensity increases. So let's look at option A. When the light intensity increases at X, so the resistance will decrease, and since the resistance decreases, X, the potential difference across X will also decrease, and the potential difference across Y will increase. So A is your correct answer. Diagram 1 is a circuit diagram showing an AC power supply connected to 4 diodes and a resistor. Diagram 2 shows the output voltage from the power supply. So they have shown us the diagram and the output voltage, which graph correctly shows the voltage time curve across the resistor R. So we'll have to trace the flow of current in this diagram. So since this is an AC power supply, current will flow through both directions, from this side and this side as well. So let's look at this side first. The current will flow like this, and also like this. Similarly, if you take it from this side, so the current goes like this. So we can see that regardless of which direction the current flows, the direction is always this way. The flow of the current is always in one direction. It does not flow in this direction. It does not flow in this direction. So that will eliminate option A and option C, because it shows that the voltage has a negative direction as well, which is incorrect. And we can see that there is a constant flow of current. So option D, there is a flat line, which is incorrect. So that gives you B as your answer. 32. Which diagram shows the circuit symbol for a fuse? So you should be able to recall that a fuse has this circuit symbol. The diagram represents an alarm system using a logic gate. The data for the system is shown. The siren sounds when there is any indication of a fire. Any indication means that either there is an increase in temperature or a detection of smoke. So even if one of them is true, the siren should sound. So the siren would sound if this has 1 1 or 0 1 or even 1 0. So if even one of them is true, the siren should sound. So which logic gate has this behavior? This behavior is of the OR gate. This is your OR gate. Because if you look at the truth table of an OR gate, it looks something like this. This is the output. Let's call this X and Y. So when both of them are 0, this would be 0, output would be 0. But if one of them is true, the output would be true as well. And this is what we require. So B is your correct answer, OR gate. 4 small compasses are placed around a solenoid. A current is now switched on the solenoid. Which diagram shows possible new direction of the compass needles? Okay, so we can see that A and B are incorrect, because the magnetic field lines do not travel vertically as shown here. So A and B are incorrect. So when you look at option C, inside the solenoid the field lines travel from south to north, but outside they travel from north to south. However, when we look at the current, when we look at the flow of current here, this shows the flow of current, and using the right hand grip rule, if you use the right hand grip rule, you can see that C is also incorrect, because the magnetic field lines will be in this direction. Inside it will travel from north to south. So this would be your north pole, south pole, sorry. Wait a second. this would be a north pole, this would be a south pole, so it should travel like this. Inside the solenoid it travels from south to north, but outside it travels from north to south. So this behavior is shown in option D. So D is your correct answer. Transformers are used in the transmission of electrical power to houses. Which type of transformer is used at the power station prior to connection to the power lines, and which type is used prior to delivery to the houses? So prior to power station, step up transformer would be used because we need to increase the voltage, and before going into houses obviously we would want a lower voltage, a safer amount of voltage, so we would use a step down transformer. The diagram shows an AC generator rotating in a clockwise direction. What are the names of parts 1 and parts 2? So we know that these are brushes, and this, which is labeled as 2, this is your slip ring. So A is your answer. You need to be able to remember the symbols for these components. A thin metal foil is placed in a vacuum. Alpha particles are fired at the foil and most go straight through. A very small portion of the alpha particles are deflected through large angles. What does this provide evidence for? Alpha particles are very small. No, there is no evidence for this. There are negative electrons in each atom. There is no evidence for this, because deflection does not mean that there are negative electrons in each atom. There is a tiny nucleus in each atom. Yes, this is true, because deflection will only occur and at a very small rate, because they told us that most go straight through and only a very small portion of the alpha particles are deflected. So the reason that most of them are going straight through is because the nucleus is very tiny and is located at the center, so most of them do not touch or interact with the nucleus. So C is your answer. Thorium-230 is represented by the symbol this. This isotope is radioactive and decays to radium by emitting alpha particles. Which nuclide is produced by this decay? So we know that alpha particles are of this nature. So when you remove this from thorium, so 230 minus 4 would give you 226, and 90 minus 2 would give you 88. So A is your answer. The diagram shows a piece of apparatus used to determine the nature of the emissions from a radioactive source. The absorbers can be raised out of or lowered into the path of the radiation from the source to the detector. The apparatus is evacuated. The table gives a set of results for a particular radioactive source. So we can see that when a thin paper was put in front, there was no effect on the count rate. So the thin paper only affects alpha particles, and since there was no change in the count rate, so that means alpha particles are not present. When we put aluminum, we saw a decrease in the count rate, which means that beta particles are present, and when we put a 1 centimeter lead, there was a huge decrease in the count rate, which also means that gamma rays were present. So no alpha particles but beta particles and gamma rays, so C is your answer. Moving on to the last question. The graph shows the measured count rate of radiation from a source containing a radioactive isotope. The detector is in a laboratory with no shielding from the background radiation. What is the measured count rate after a time of 1 half-life? So we know that we can calculate the count using 1 half-life. So that means an average. So the average would be given by dx plus y over 2. This would give us the Dirichlet-Coulomb rate after one half-life. So that brings us to the end of our paper. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel because it helps us a lot, and I will see you later.